Just want to talk to you all about law enforcement in general, where I came from, where I ended up. Not a lot there, but I'll hit the highlights. I was born and raised in 1959 in West Texas, north of Waco. Little Czech community up there. We had a few Germans mixed in much, including my mother. We all had a wonderful time growing up in the West. My sisters, my mom and dad. Dad worked for county, mom worked for Southern Bank. So it was a little tough growing up. Back in 1977, I decided I wanted to be a highway patrolman. That was my focus in life. Had that Texas Ranger thought way in the back of my head. But anyway, in 1978, I went to work with the prison system. As an 18-year-old kid, walked the halls of death row, learned what reality was in a hurry. I went to work for the prison system because I wanted to go to college. And the only way I could do that was to pay my own way. My mom and dad taught me the value of the dollar, told me how to be courteous, professional, take care of business. Do it if you can on your own, which is what I did. I went to work for the prison system in 1978, beginning my state career. While in college, I had a dream again of being a trooper, and in 1981, in my third year of college, I applied for DPS. And shockingly, I got hired. I didn't know whether to take the job of my dream or to complete college. Sam Houston State. So I decided to take that opportunity and went to work for DPS in 1981. The end of 1981, I went through the academy, stationed in Bell County, where I was a trooper for over 13 years. I was in the Highway Patrol Service there, working with Commercial Traffic Division. And during my 9th year of working the highway, I decided to give the Ranger position a shot. I began testing. And it takes a pretty good bit to get to that position, from a highway patrolman to a criminal investigator, for obvious reasons. I'm writing traffic tickets one day and I'm trying to investigate homicides the next. So there's a lot of area in there that you got to cover. All along about 1994, my final dream came true. That was a promotion to Texas Rangers. And with that said, I was stationed in Palestine, where coincidentally, Chief Phelps and I met for the first time. He was working homicide out of the north part of Texas at the time, came down to Palestine to interview some suspects. Of course, needed a little help, so we were there to help him. First time I met him. I was impressed then as I am now, by the way. So anyway, back in Palestine, Texas, I learned how to be a criminal investigator very quickly. There's a lot of crime out that direction that none of us hear about much. But when you have a crime out there, there always seems to be bad. I worked 13 counties as a ranger. I worked with at least 30 different law enforcement agencies, maybe more. Sheriffs, chiefs of police, criminal investigators, and detectives, and so forth. And that's where I learned how to do the job and do it right. There were several out there. And Chief Phelps is one of them, by the way. They cover every base. They're professional, they're courteous, they take care of business, and it's all about crime victims, which is a big part of me, crime victims. So, with covering 20 some odd counties over the time that I spent out in East Texas, in about 3 years, I guess you could say, we worked with a lot of people, worked with a lot of federal agencies, state agencies, and local law enforcement. Like I said, we were taught to do it right, take care of business. I also had the opportunity back then to work with various divisions of the state, including the Texas prison system, my old roots in life. And even to this day, we still have those great connections that provide us a lot of help in doing the things that we do. In 1997, I found out that Brenham was open. A ranger position in Brenham was open. Now, back in 1994, when I promoted to the Rangers, Brenham was open. But we had a gentleman from Houston that really wanted to come to Brenham and Jesse Hanak. Some of you may remember him. Good man. He took the Brenham position, I took the Palestine. So 3 years later, he transferred to Houston. I come to Brenham in April of 1997. What a wonderful transfer that was. Then I was assigned multiple counties once I got here. Fayette County, Colorado County, Grimes County, Burleson County, Waller County. I kind of thought that once I moved out of accepted some of that would slow down a little bit, but it didn't. But that's the way you learn to do things and do them right. We can go to training schools forever, which I'm a strong advocate of, but when it comes down to some of the things that we do, it's best to learn from those that are good teachers. First-hand experience. We all know what that's like. I've worked with several law enforcement agencies throughout this whole area. I've worked with community leaders, worked with business people here throughout these last 15 years that I've been here. Like I said earlier, this has been a dream come true. Number one, for me to be here, standing in front of you. And number two, to have been part of doing my job in this county. To become a ranger, I'll back up just a little bit. To become a ranger, there's a lot of things that have to fall into place. You have to have 8 years of law enforcement, number one. You have to have at least 4 years with the Department of Public Safety. And now you've got the work cut out for you. You've got 300, 400 people taking the ranger test each year and very few openings. Once you qualify for that position and you take these tests, then of course you go before an interview board. You're either hired or you're sent back home. I was voted back in 94 to be hired. Now, in 2009, the middle part of 2009, my good friend, the ranger from Belleville, and I had a brief conversation over a cup of coffee, wanting to know what our numbers look like as far as retirement. And neither of us said that word ever to one another. At the end of the day, the retirement numbers shocked us both. With the Department of Public Safety, you can draw up to 100% of your retirement when you leave, if the numbers are there. Being that I started with the state in 1978, and stayed with the state over 31 years, that allowed me to lead with the magic number that we all need in order to draw maximum benefits. That's why, number one, that's why I retired, because we maxed out. We're there. Number two, I believe that I had done all I wanted to do. I was totally satisfied with my career, and I firmly believe that I did everything in my power to protect and help crime victims. I honestly believe that. I have no regrets about retiring, but fortunately, as sometimes it works this way, someone will walk up to you and offer you a job. And our district attorney offered me that job. And I had hesitation about that in the initial stages. But looking back 2 years, I had a good experience there as well. And currently having a good experience there as well. Because not only have I learned the law enforcement side of this, but I've also learned the prosecution side of this, which helps tremendously when people call you daily and ask you questions about how things need to work, what should we do, what should we do different. So I'm thankful to the district attorney here for giving me that opportunity. Basically, the job that I'm doing now is really no different than what I've done before, except that the geographical area has shrunk a little bit. Rather than many counties, we're working in Burleson, Washington County, and I am investigating with the DA's office here. And we travel those counties just like we do with the Rangers, except it's more of a limited basis now. Call-outs, we get called out with the DA's office just like I did when I was with the Rangers. We have a crime scene, and the chief will support this. We have a major crime scene in the room. Our phone rings. We respond. I try not to cross the crime scene tape as much as I used to, for obvious reasons, because we have to be part of the prosecution team now.